Hey guys, welcome to Vesna TV. It's Vesna here. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today I have 7 Halloween themed DIYs, mostly from the Dollar Tree, so let's get going. Okay, to start, I have these 3 jars that I was going to use for a different project, but I wound up not using them for that, and I spray painted them in a white trim-clad flat paint. And I'm also using these free printables, which I got from Whiskey and Wit. I will link her blog in my description below. I printed them on the Hippo water slide decal paper, and I've just cut them with leaving like a little bit of a border around them. If you want the full tutorial on how to do this, I will link my video below. I've done a tutorial on them previously. And basically I'm just wetting the decals and I am applying them to these jars, and then I will be writing some text on them. I've decided that I wanted them to say trick or treat, so I am just writing that out in a Sharpie. You could definitely use some vinyl if you have a Cricut cutting machine. I just decided for this I wanted to freehand write it. And because the cat is a little bit bigger, I've decided the cat one to be the or because that's a smaller word to write down. And then I'm just stuffing them with some Dollar Tree picks, some of the blue dahlias and other florals. And I'm also wrapping some jute rope around the rim of the jars, and I'm doing it about 4 times. Do however much you want. You don't even have to do this. I just thought it would look a little bit nicer. If you use mason jars, you could spray paint the rim to a color of your choice, kind of to match whatever your printables are, and then you could put that around, but I did not use mason jars, so I'm just wrapping some jute rope. So that's about all there is to it. Once I put those floral picks in there, I also added some of the skeleton skulls into the floral arrangement, and that's it. The easiest DIY ever, and it looks so cute, and it'll be a great either mantelpiece decor or in a tray on one of my tables. I haven't decided yet, but here they are all finished. For this next DIY, I'm just using some Rust-Oleum chalked country gray paint and these carvable pumpkins from the Dollar Tree. These pumpkins are great because you can do all sorts of things with them. And these little stems just come right off because they're just on a toothpick. And I remove them and I just give these 2 coats of the gray paint. And then I will be stacking them. I got this inspiration from Kirkland's. They have a 4 stack of 4 pumpkins stacked one on top of the other, and I thought it was super cute, so I thought I'd replicate it. Now I'm just using 3. I just thought they're so light, these pumpkins, that it might be too heavy for 4 of them. So once those are painted and dry, I decide to stack them. Now I'm using hot glue to glue them down, but I'm also using just one of those barbecue skewers, the wood ones, to stick them on, and then I kind of do them topsy-turvy. So I put them off to the side and I use that skewer. I've cut it in half and I use it to poke it down so that it kind of goes sideways, if that makes sense. And then I just do that until I get the shape that I want, and I reinforce it with hot glue. Once I have them all stacked, I put back the little stems and I paint them in black. And I do this so that way I can add them back to the pumpkin and have the pumpkin kind of look like it's all wobbly and sideways and kind of crazy looking. And then I cut out some a mouth and eyes out of vinyl. Now I wanted all the eyes and the mouths to be different. So you'll see that if you want them to be symmetrical and perfect, by all means, either use your Cricut machine or you can trace out shapes. I mean, you could do anything you wanted. This is kind of the look that I was going for. And once everything dry, I also wound up touching it up a little bit too, and then sticking on the vinyl, and that's all there is to this one as well. So again, a super fun and easy DIY for you to do on a budget. So here it is all finished. I think they look so cute. They kind of look a little bit crazy, and I just love them. They'll look great in my Halloween decor. This next DIY is another super easy one. I'm using a mason jar and one of these solar lights from the Dollar Tree, and I am just painting it on the inside in white, and I'm adding a little bit of water to some chalk paint, and I poured it in and I just kind of twirled it around until I got the color that I wanted. Then I spray painted the top of the solar light in black as well as the rim for the mason jar. And I drew on a ghost face, wrote boo, and that's all there is to this one. And for sure, if you wanted to use your vinyl, you totally could, and it would look awesome. And here it is. I love the way it turned out. I think he's super spooky. For this next one, I'm using the decals again. I'm using the Witch's Starter Pack 1, and again, I cut it so that I wouldn't see any of those lines and as close as I could to the edge, and I'm going to put it on a mug. Now, if you wanted to use this as a drinkable mug, I believe you can even bake them in the oven, so that way it sets, or you could put Mod Podge or anything that's kind of food safe. I'm not going to be using it for eating, so I'm just going to be putting it on there, and it'll probably go into one of my trays. And so I just adjust it. Now, what I like about these, if you wet them enough, you can kind of fiddle around with them and get them to be wherever you wanted them to be. Like they're forgiving to a certain extent, but you just have to wet them really well. So anyway, here they are, and then you want to move when you're taking the excess water off. Don't press too hard like I did with this paper towel. You just want to do it lightly from the center out, so that way you don't move it or wrinkle your paper. But that's all there is to it. They're so easy to use, and I think they look really great. So here it is all finished. I didn't display it in a tray. I will do that a little bit later on. I just wanted to show you what it looks like on its own. For this next one, I just have a scrap piece of wood. You could definitely use one of the signs from the Dollar Tree. Just be careful if you're going to use it outside. Um, that sign may fall apart because it's just like chipboard or press board, so it's kind of like paper. So I'm using just some pressure treated wood that I'm going to stain. I think it's pressure treated, or it could just be from a pallet. It was from the garage. It was just a scrap. It was where the pressure treated stuff was, but I'm not sure that it is. But anyway, I'm going to be putting a little bit of this Rust-Oleum decorative glaze just to give it like a stain. And then I'm going to be making it a sign. Now, I haven't decided whether I'll keep this underneath like where my deck is, my covered deck, or if I'm going to put it out front. If I put it out front, I'll have to protect it somehow with some varnish. But if you have a covered porch, you don't have to do any of that. So then I just picked a font that I liked from Cricut. I will link the font name in my description below. And I found a free broom image from Cricut design space, and I cut them out using my Cricut, and now I'm going to just dab on some white paint onto them. Always use a transfer paper when you're transferring vinyl like this, otherwise it'll stretch too much and it won't look very nice. I did weld all of the letters so that way it would all look good. And when you are dabbing on the paint, make sure you tap off the excess paint so that way not too much goes through, otherwise it'll bleed. And here it is all finished. I really love the way it turned out. It's so super cute. Now, because I was going to hang this up outside, I decided to make some brooms with the boys. I couldn't find the little fake brooms at the Dollar Tree or our Dollarama this time around, so we collected some sticks and kind of wrapped them around with jute rope around some bigger sticks to make our little brooms. I mean, they're just whatever fun little things me and the boys did, and here's what our brooms look like. So I might put them out, I might not. I haven't decided yet, but that's what they look like. Okay, the next one is another fun one that I wanted to put for an outdoor decoration. So I have tomato cages that I'm using. I'm using 3 of them. And I have some floral foam, and I'm going to be making some witches. So I need some Dollar Tree buckets. Now, these are just the trick-or-treat buckets that you can pick up from the Dollar Tree or Dollarama. They were $1.25 each, and this is going to be her waist. So you want to put it on the spiky edge of the tomato cage. The thing with these is the video that I watched and the inspiration that I got, she used those round those round pumpkin trick-or-treat buckets, but I haven't been able to find those. I think they do have them maybe at Lensmill or Walmart, but they're quite expensive. So I didn't want to spend $4 or $5 on each because, times 6, because that's how many you need altogether. That would be quite a bit of money, and then I might as well just buy the witches already made. So anyway, I'm creating 3 of these using, like I said, these trick-or-treat buckets and some garbage bags. So once you have that bucket attached, you do want to put, if it doesn't quite fit like mine, you want to put something like floral foam and some hot glue to make it stand up straight. Then you put a garbage bag over top and get some jute rope and tie it around her waist, just kind of below the bucket. And then you're going to use another bucket to put on top. You want to hot glue that bucket. We'll see how long it lasts. I'm not going to put them out until about a week before Halloween because we do sometimes get snow here. It gets cold. It gets very weird around Halloween time. So I will put them out then. I will have to attach some spikes to them to the bottom so they don't blow away. But it depends on what your climate is. But anyway, I'm using 3 different colors of the top bucket. So I'm using a green, orange, and a purple one. My son was watching me edit the video and he got very excited that it's going to be Halloween soon. So anyway, you attach that and then you attach your hat. You're going to need 3 different hats. I found these at Dollarama. They were $2.50 each, which I was hoping to find them at Dollar Tree, but our Dollar Tree didn't have them. So kind of, some ideas. Maybe you can find them for cheap and, make this nice, cute little decoration. Now I picked up some flashing lights from from Dollarama as well. They were $1.25. I think Dollar Tree has them too. So I'm only hot gluing a part of the hat to the one side, and I've stuffed the top of the hat with just some bags so that way the hat sticks up. And the reason I'm not hot gluing the whole thing is because I will be turning them on nightly, so I want to be able to turn them on and off. And in order to do that, you have to be able to get in. So I'm just hot gluing one part of it, and The other part I'm leaving loose. We'll see how it holds up in the wind. So please don't mind the mess in the craft room. It is a disaster. I had bought some Christmas and Halloween stuff, and I think I'm done buying, but I haven't had a chance to put it away. But anyway, I will be tying the witches together using just a garbage bag that I've cut in half, and I'm going to tie it in the middle so that way the witches can be, it looks like they're holding hands when I tie them together. And I'll have a cauldron out as well. I will have a Halloween front porch and house tour up, and if I don't have these up by the time I do the Halloween front porch, just because I plan on putting these out kind of a week before Halloween, I will post it on Instagram, so make sure you check it out there. So here they are all lit up outside. I really love the way they look. I think they're awesome, and my boys got all spooked by them because I did this at night while they were sleeping, and they thought they were so cool. Now, as you did see from the title, this video is a part of the Heidi Sonboul DIY challenge. If you have not had a chance to check out this challenge, make sure you check it out. There's some amazing inspiration on here. Check out Heidi's channel. She is one talented lady. I will have her information linked in the description below, as well as the playlist. This playlist is going to be awesome. The theme was fall or Halloween, sorry, Thanksgiving or Halloween. So lots of great inspiration in there. Mine was all Halloween, but so anyway, make sure you check everything out. It'll be linked in my description below. And here they are without a flash, just so you could kind of see what they look like. With the head, it looks like floating heads. It's kind of, I think it's pretty cool. But anyway, I love them. But I'm biased. So anyway, on to the next DIY. So this one is another spooky one. It's for outdoors again, and I'm using 4 of these laundry baskets from the Dollar Tree. And I've cut the top of the baskets off, and I just cut it around the rim just so you could see. And I will be spray painting them in a flat black from not from Restore, from Tremclad. And to cut them off, I just used my miter shears, and to spray paint them, I just use that spray paint. And once I've spray painted all of them and they dried, I'm going to attach them together and attach the chains. I'm also using 3 chains from the Dollar Tree. To attach the chains, I'm going to do kind of a combination of 2 things. I'm going to hook them on because they have little slits, and I'm going to attach them with some zip ties. And then I'm going to attach the baskets, the 2 baskets together, one on top of the other, also using zip ties, but I'm going to leave a little bit open because I want to be able to put the skeleton animals from the Dollar Tree in there. So it kind of looks like I've captured some animals in there. And again, the spook factor. And these will just be hanging outside. I have one of those planter hanger things, so I'll be hanging them on those. Again, a really simple and inexpensive DIY, and again adds to the spook factor. When you're placing the baskets one on top of the other, you're just going to have to play around with it to make sure that they kind of line up. And it's up to you how much, whether you want to push it down a little bit more or you want them to kind of stay up, but just use zip ties. I'm using black zip ties so you can't see them to tie them together. And then I am tying the 2 baskets together with a chain, but I'll do that outside and you'll see the picture. I really do apologize for the wonky angles, but I wanted to show you how I attached the chain, and then I wanted to show you where I put the animals. I did hot glue the rat to the bottom, and then the bat I had hanging up from the top of the basket, and I hot glued his little hands to the top as well. But these are really hard to record. I don't have that much space in there to record this where you can see it properly, unless I was doing it on the floor, but my back will go if I try to do it on the floor. But I just wanted to kind of give you some of these ideas, and hopefully you can see enough that you can understand how I made these. And then so you can see the rat there, and that's where I was telling you you'll have to kind of fiddle around with to try and get it to get in there. And once you get it to sit one on top of the other the way you want it, then you just want to close it up with your zip tie. You might have to cut one of the slits just a little bit so that way it gives. But other than that, that's all there is to it. It's really, really easy. So pretty spooky stuff here, and I love, love, love the way they look. They'll even look cooler when it's like not so sunny outside and a little bit cloudy. Well, thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed this video and got lots of inspiration, lots of stuff that you can make here for very cheap. And make sure you check out the playlist and check out Heidi. And I will be back next week for some Halloween tiered tray DIYs. And it'll be my regular post time on a Sunday. Thank you so much. Have a great day and stay safe, everyone. And thank you for watching, and subscribe if you haven't.